Time now for a look at what's happening in our community. Brought to you by Leith Nissan in Cary.
It's 8 o'clock. Take time to secure your pets in the car. A reminder from HendrickCars.com.
I'm Jonathan Lowe with your Spectrum News in 90. The State Bureau of Investigation still working to find out what led to an off-duty Cumberland County deputy shooting and killing a man. It happened in Fayetteville Saturday afternoon along Bingham Drive near Shenandoah Drive. Police say Jason Walker ran into traffic and jumped on the deputy's truck while it was moving. No charges have been filed. The Wilson community is honoring the life of a police captain who died in the line of duty. The Wilson Police Department says Captain Reggie Smith died from a medical condition. He served with the department for more than 2 decades. Johnston County sheriffs are investigating after they say they found a body inside a burnt home Saturday night. Deputies responded to the call on Foxglove Drive in Garner after neighbors told them the owner was in his front yard with a gun. Authorities believe it started with some sort of domestic dispute. They're still working to find out how the fire started. Time now for a check of the forecast.
Heavy showers at times as we go through this Sunday evening, and temperatures are ultimately falling to around 35 degrees Monday morning, but it will feel a little bit colder than that. It'll feel like temperatures are below freezing from 7 o'clock through 9 a.m. and still at the warmest part of the day, it'll only feel like 40 degrees. Actual temperatures should top out in the upper 40s under sunny skies with a crystal clear Monday night forecast.
And thank you so much for joining us on Spectrum News 1. Glad you could be with us. We begin now with a look at the impact the coronavirus is having across our country. According to the most recent numbers from the CDC, more than 59 million Americans have tested positive for the virus since the start of the pandemic. That's more than any other country in the world. The CDC says more than 834,000 people have died from COVID-19 in the U.S. and around 79% of people ages 5 and older have received at least 1 dose of the COVID vaccine. As new COVID-19 cases continue to climb in the U.S., the CDC updated its guidance for preventing virus spread in K-12 schools and a new call for variant-specific vaccines. Spectrum News' Aaron Murray has the latest.
Across the U.S., the 7-day average of new COVID-19 cases is hitting more than 600,000 a day. Hospitalizations are also nearing a record high.
Omicron has rapidly become the predominant variant, and cases have substantially increased to rates higher than we have seen at any point throughout this pandemic.
COVID-19 cases in children reaching a record level, too. With that, new CDC guidance to help slow the spread in K-12 schools. The agency says unvaccinated children exposed to the virus should quarantine for at least 5 days after that exposure. Infected students, teachers, and staff should isolate for at least 5 full days. After that, masks are recommended around others for another 5 days. The agency also urges some extracurricular and sports activities to be canceled or go virtual to protect in-person learning.
If we have the will to invest in public health and if we work together, we can get to the point that COVID is something that we live with. We're just not there yet.
Some U.S. health experts say coexisting with COVID may mean variant-specific vaccines.
If we update our vaccines to match the Omicron variant, not only can we reestablish both arms of powerful immunity, but we can also be better prepared for the next change of the virus.
Experts say using the tools we have against COVID-19, like vaccines, will allow us to control this virus like we do the flu. I'm Erin Murray, Spectrum News.
We'll learn more Monday about the latest on the state's fight against COVID-19 when the Department of Health and Human Services releases the number of new COVID-19 infections across the state. Friday, we saw a record of more than 28,000 new infections. Now, there were 3 days last week when the state saw more than 20,000 new cases. Unfortunately, hospitals are often associated sometimes with sickness and death. It's been especially true during the pandemic. But one hospital chaplain is bringing comfort through it all. In this week's Everyday Hero, Spectrum News 1 health reporter Carrie Beal explains how the Reverend's loving words make such a big difference.
Gracious and loving God, God who's all-knowing,
Reverend Gloria Mungo is giving comfort
at this hour
to certified nursing assistant Marsha Gonzalez.
because